Hello, everybody. Back here again for another vlog a day, and today it's Wednesday the 1st, and today was an amazingly beautiful, gorgeous day outside. Except for being a little windy, I would take today every single day of the year. I absolutely could not have asked for better weather. Started off with a nice little coolness in the breeze, so it was nice sleeping weather. Woke up, had a handful of things get done, and it started warming up nicely. I think it probably reached, I don't know, I didn't really look that much. I'm gonna guess mid 70s or so, maybe low 70s. Out running, I got worked up a nice sweat, running like a 9.5 minute, maybe 9 minute mile like that. So it was beautiful weather. Like I said, except for the wind, which it finally did die off a little bit. It was gorgeous. The wind was pretty wicked at spots, especially running on the dam of the reservoir there and stuff. You really kind of got beat up by the wind a little bit there, but overall stunning. So got up this morning, had a handful of things get done. Just had, I don't know, some really odd crap in my life happen here just last couple days, and trying to reflect on life a little bit here and different things. So one of the things I'd done today was I basically turned off my phone and didn't touch it again, really. I had it with me, used as an iPod only, did not use it as a phone at all. Turned off, I basically put it on airplane mode, which makes it worthless except for an iPod. So went ahead and just kind of turned off the whole world there, didn't deal with anybody, didn't really, like, I don't know, just turned off everything. Just kind of ignored it all and let it go. I figure I'll turn it back on tomorrow morning, see if the world missed me or not while I was gone, and see what happens. So it's one of those things that, I don't know, it's hard telling. So got a few things done around here, just general life stuff, you know how it goes. I threw up some old videos that I've been sitting on for, I don't know, a couple years now, almost 2 years. Threw them up on here, and I don't know, just finally felt it was time. I don't know why I've been holding on to it as long. Finally got up on there stuff. I've got a few more to throw up there, some things I just wasn't sure if I was going to put out there or not. I thought, why the hell not? So, not too many people watch them, especially like these vlogs and stuff. Nobody watches this crap anyway, so why not just throw out some more stuff? And who knows, maybe I'll get some reflection upon my life from then to now and whatnot and whatever. So, really, I don't know, just some interesting stuff going through my head and all that good thing. Like I said, it felt nice to have the phone off, just not, I don't know, just not getting that random, like, text and the random call and that kind of crap, and just not getting the random, like, I don't know, you have somebody text you something, 5 minutes go by and they're texting like, well, what the hell's the answer? And I'm like, I was taking a dump or I was in the shower or whatever, just give me a damn minute, so it's one of those things. It's kind of nice just to kind of turn all that crap off. Got done here, had some stuff to go doing, had some running to do. I end up out getting that taken care of. Also decided to stop by my grandparents' house. I've realized the fact that if I want to see them or have anything to do with them, I have to be the one to do it. They're never going to call me. There for a long time, I was trying to do like the whole 4-to-1 ratio, where I'd stop by and see them or call them. Usually I just call them, say, hey, you going to be home, blah, blah, whatever, run over by there, stop in and see them, because talking on the phone to them is just worthless. They're not phone people. My grandfather and my grandmother both are not phone people. My father was horrible on the phone. So usually, just out of common courtesy, I'm the kind of guy who almost always will call somebody's house before I stop by. I'm not the dude who just goes and knocks on a door, because I don't know what you're doing. It's easier to tell me you don't have time right now, you got company, blah, 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 and stuff, over a phone. I'll stop by tomorrow, not a big deal. But once somebody's at your door and knocks on the door, it's that whole weird scenario of the fact that it's much harder to turn them away at that point. And I've had to do that to people and stuff in the past where I've had other things going on. I'm like, you should have called first. Yeah, sorry you drove a long ways, but guess what? I didn't invite you today. I have other things that are, I've already agreed to do with them. And even though I might have rather spent time with you, too bad. You didn't give me a heads up on this crap. You stopped by and expect me to drop everything in my life and basically, I guess, do it for you, which is hilarious because my grandparents are the worst about that. The 2 times they've come by my house, it's been unannounced. And they're the ones who my entire life complained about that about other people. There was a relative of theirs that was I don't know, it'd be like a cousin-in-law or some crap. She married into the family, and they talked about how she was the absolute worst about that. She would drive, it's like 3.5 hours from her place down here, and just knock on the door and say, what's for supper? Kind of thing. They're like, what the hell? We had our plans, and of course, instead of just packing her up and sending her on her way, they would always drop everything, change crap, and just like piss themselves off and beat themselves up trying to get everything ready for her and trying to entertain her and trying to blah, 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 whatever. And I thought one time, just send her ass back home, or worst case scenario, she goes down the road to the next family member here because there's a bunch of family around the area she'd stay with and see. Not that big a deal. But if you would have showed up at her house like that, she would have just raised holy hell. But because they never did, she kept doing it and got worse and worse about it over the years. So I try not to be that dickhead who just knocks on somebody's door without permission. And, I don't know. So I used to have a 4-to-1 ratio with my grandparents. I would call them, then stop by and visit 4 times. Then I would stop until they contacted me. And I might do it every week, twice a week, 3 times a week, once a month, whatever it was. Then I would go usually 3 months to 3.5 months before they will call me, unless they need something. They need to ride to the doctor. They need me to come help them move something. I think I'll get a call much sooner. But it's that whole scenario of the fact that obviously, you don't give a shit or you would have called me. So they were using an excuse a while back. They didn't have a cell phone but they got their cell phone back and still it's been a couple weeks and no checking in. So who knows? I don't know. It's just that weird scenario of the fact they're just odd people. And there's a there's a friend of the family there and stuff that's been there's, I don't know, 70 years maybe they've known the guy, maybe longer. And he's literally actively dying right now. Hospice is there and stuff. And they've stopped feeding him. He's in a, unresponsive and stuff. Sunday he clenched his mouth shut and refused to eat, which is his way of basically, I think, saying he wants to die. And they're not out there. I don't know if they've been out there yet. I don't know. It's one of those things where I know when he first went to the hospital about a year ago and stuff, had some issues. My grandfather had called out and said something about stopping by, and he's like, "Oh no, don't bother. I don't want to be out here." And my grandpa's like, "Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and basically honor his wishes." And I'm like, you realize every time you're in the hospital or grandma's in the hospital, you both say the same thing. We all disobey that because we know that you want somebody to be there to show you and prove to you that they actually care about you and they're worried about you and all that good stuff. But yet you just leave that dude out there alone. I'm like, I don't know. You've known him 70 plus years. But then I also realized these are the same people that when their own son was dying, was only in the room for like an hour. And that was only because I had to call up and like basically bribe and beg them. I begged my grandfather to come out and sit with my father for the hour while I'd finally got him asleep so I could go home, take a shower, and like literally 5 minutes, not even after I got back, my grandfather booked ass and got out of there. And my father passed away less than an hour later. So they're not, I don't know, they're not people who are willing to, I don't know, go out of their way to help others when it comes like the uncomfortableness. They're just like, oh, well, it's not going to affect me, so I'm just going to bail out of here. So that whole conversation today was just, I don't know, there's so much stuff we could have been talking about. It's real stuff. And he wanted to talk about gas mileage on these new SUV kind of thing and want to know what kind of gas mileage my truck gets and all that stuff. I'm like, you realize there's a gentleman you've known in your life for 70 plus years and he's dying. And I don't know, it would be an interesting time to maybe, I don't know, reflect back on him or maybe go out and see him. Cause I knew him also growing up, not a lot, but I knew him a little bit. We could all went out there together kind of stuff. But no, instead you want to talk about the gas mileage in your SUV and how you're severely disappointed with Chevy because this is the first vehicle got less gas mileage than they recommended it would. And I'm like, I don't know. I just don't understand how their whole life works. So they got mad at me because of the fact I didn't know about some attempted murder here in town. Like, I give a shit. I'm not into that. I don't read the paper. I don't care. It doesn't affect me. While they were reading about that, while they were telling every person they could talk to about it and stuff, I was at a 100-mile race and a 50-mile race and stuff. So, I don't know, just the whole concept of living your life as opposed to gossiping about your life is just a whole different scenario. So, went ahead, got done with them, went for my run. I went knocked out a little over 10K. Was out, had a good time, took the upper trail. It's technically closed, so I broke the rules there, ran around that trail. Trail is surprisingly slow. Even if you run hard, same heart rate, blah, blah, same effort. I'm putting out about a minute slower pace, at least 45 seconds slower pace than I do on the same trail or same area, but down the rock trail. It's just so much faster. So I was out there kind of beat myself up. It was about a 3.5 mile loop. Got that done, came down, ran a couple loops in the little 1.5 mile loop there. And it was kind of interesting because I was getting done with my run. I had about maybe quarter mile, half mile, looks like that. There was a bunch of high school kids coming down, the track stars out there on their little run and stuff, little exercise deal. And as they had turned, a bunch of them turned and came at me, down the trail. So Bruce and I went kind of to them. I noticed there was 3 of them had went the opposite direction across the dam, and why they didn't run together, who knows. But I turned in behind the 3 going across the dam, and they were, 100 yards, maybe 150 yards ahead of me. We took off and stuff, and obviously I could see I was running a little faster than them, which at the pace I was running, I could have backed off a little bit. Stayed behind them, not a big deal. But I decided, screw it. I'm going to pass these high school kids just because I can. I'm damn near 40, and why the hell not? So I went ahead and just kind of picked my pace up a little bit, kind of knocked it out, got up there, and the wind was blowing so hard across that dam, you could hardly hear anything at all. I was literally, my headphones were on full blast, and I couldn't hardly hear them because the wind was blowing so bad. And I had to holler up, and I guess I kind of snuck up on them. I assume they think when they saw the old man and the dog, they wouldn't have to worry about looking behind them, because obviously an old man and a dog ain't going to pass them because they're high school, fast, whatever, blah, blah. And when I went by him and stuff, it was kind of cool. I went on across the bridge there and stuff, headed up the hill, and my run was done at that point for the actual distance, just cooling off. There's a big-ass hill there. I was like, I'm not gonna put us out here in the hill. So I powered up the whole damn hill, saw some other people who had been out there and stuff, and looked over, and they had cheated, and they'd cut and run the road instead of the hill. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to let them beat me into the van. So I ran on over the hill and stuff, just that little ego-type trip thing there. It kind of felt pretty good to pass high school kids. So went ahead, got to the other side, went ahead and kind of cooled off a little walk, sat in the van for a little bit. Lady came by, it has a little white Westie-type looking dog, I think it is. And Bruce and him like to play quite a bit. So they played for, 10 minutes. We talked and stuff, had a nice time. And then basically she headed on her rest of her loop. And I headed back home and been editing some videos and just kind of going through some junk, trying to do some emails. Maybe going to do another, I got a 50 race coming up I'm trying to get into. Said no pets and no strollers. And then I got an email from the guy who asked him, hey, why can't dogs be in there? He says they're dog friendly, so now I don't know what's going on. So I sent a picture of his own website stating the fact there was no dogs or strollers because it's a trail race. And waiting to hear back on that. So hopefully I'll hear back on that and I'll get that registered out. It's coming up really shortly. So real soon I want to get that figured out. There was, I think last knew was like 2 spots left. My buddy and I are wanting to do it. So if it accepts dogs, I'm all in. If it don't accept dogs, I'm all out. So although if it does not accept dogs, I might go up there and just volunteer and see if they kick me out of volunteering if I have my dog there. So anyway, that's all I've got for right now. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Have yourself a safe and wonderful day. Thanks for watching.